Alright, so Masters of the Universe Revolution has finally landed on Netflix, and yup, it picks up exactly where Revelation left off. If you haven't caught up yet, you might want to check out the recap we dropped a few days back. Now, when Netflix and Kevin Smith teamed up for this He-Man reboot, they weren't exactly looking to totally revamp the old-school vibe. The 2021 Masters of the Universe Revelation was more about continuing the saga from the 80s, especially for us grown-ups who still have a soft spot for the original series. But here's the kicker. Some fans weren't too thrilled. I mean, killing off He-Man in the first episode? Bold move, right? Although Revelation did balance things out by the end, it left a bunch of fans kinda sour. And Kevin Smith? Yeah, he felt the heat. But guess what? He's back with Revolution, and it seems like he's taking a crack at smoothing over some of those rough edges from the reboot, bringing us a classic He-Man vs. Skeletor showdown. Remember that episode where Teela and Andra sneak into Snake Mountain and stumble upon Triclops and a bunch of Skeletor's henchmen worshipping some tech god called Motherboard? Back then, it seemed like a quirky side plot, right? Classic 80s vibe. But it turns out that was all set up for the big showdown in Revolution. So, without further ado, let's dive into how Masters of the Universe Revolution managed to pull off a killer finale. And hey, if you're digging our content, a little subscribe goes a long way for us. Thanks a bunch. Now let's get to it. Prince Adam's dealing with his dad's passing and has some big shoes to fill right from the get-go. He's leading Eternia's forces into the heart of Subternia, aiming to rescue the souls of their fallen heroes from Scareglow's nasty grip. After Evil Lynn's mayhem last season, it's a race against time. The gang's all here. King Randor's rocking some serious Iron Man vibes, Andra's stepped up her game, Duncan's kicking butt left and right, and of course, He-Man and the Sorceress are bringing their A-game. They managed to beat Scareglow and free the souls, but their victory's bittersweet. King Randor's on his last leg, and in a moment of clarity, he makes peace with his fate, leaving Adam with a big choice: the crown or the sword. Meanwhile, Teela discovers that lost souls without a place to go eventually vanish. Determined to give Randor's spirit some peace, she sets off on a mission to bring back Preternia. But remaking heaven in a single day? That's no walk in the park. So Teela, hitting a wall with her own magic, turns to her mom, the former sorceress, for some advice. She learns that bringing back Preternia needs a mix of ancient magic from Ka, Zoar, and Havoc. Teela's quest takes her to Dark Smoke to find Lord Greer, the Dragon Guardian of CA, who's big on old-school snake magic. And guess who she bumps into? Evil Lynn, trying to make amends by taking care of a dying Granomir after her shenanigans. Meanwhile, Skeletor, who's actually Adam's uncle, has gotten a tech upgrade and is working for this enigmatic being called Motherboard, who's just a pawn in Hordak's master plan to take over Eternia with the Horde Empire. Amidst all this, during King Randor's funeral, Adam's having doubts about filling his dad's shoes. Then, out of nowhere, Keldor, Randor's long-lost half-brother and King Miro's secret son, shows up, survives a scuffle with Skeletor's tech-savvy goons, and challenges Adam for the throne as the rightful heir. But twist! Keldor's actually Skeletor in disguise, all part of Hordak's big plot to grab Eternia. Skeletor, always craving the spotlight, ends up making a fool of himself in front of Hordak, getting taken down a peg by Motherboard. This humiliation triggers Skeletor's buried memories, revealing he's really Keldor, Randor's stepbrother, exiled long ago from the distant planet of Anwat Gar. Turns out, he had a legit claim to the throne, but Anat Gar got wrecked by Hordak, who then took Keldor under his wing, turning him into Skeletor. After a botched invasion of Eternos ordered by Hordak, Skeletor's memory was wiped, and he was banished to Snake Mountain. But with Motherboard's help, Hordak sets Skeletor up as Eternos' ruler. Meanwhile, Adam knows the Sword of Power can counter Motherboard's tech, so he gets Duncan and Orko to upgrade it with Gildor's help, aiming to protect Eternia's people. Over at Granomir's place, Teela and Lynn convince him to give Teela the magic of CA to revive Preternia. While they're off doing that, Skeletor, still pretending to be Keldor, sends Adam to Snake Mountain, swordless and alone, to face Hordak's forces. When Adam discovers the Eternian crown there, he realizes Keldor's true identity and the whole Horde scheme. Now, with Eternia's defenses down, Skeletor takes control, calling in Motherboard and Hordak's army to conquer. They mess with the realm's magic, and as Motherboard taps into Grayskull's magic, Adam loses his powers, turning Eternia's folks into mindless drones. While Hordak and Skeletor are busy taking over Eternia, Teela and Lyn team up with Duncan. Gildor's racing against the clock to enhance the sword, and Orko's bravely facing off against Hordak's fearsome minions. In the meantime, Adam, along with Cringer and his mom, finds himself locked up but is soon rescued by Andra. Now, with Skeletor on the throne, he comes to the realization that he's been just a piece in Hordak's game. In a bold move, he takes down Motherboard, confronts Hordak, and remembers how he was once persuaded by him. Hordak, who's all about tech and not so much about magic, is taken aback when Skeletor skillfully combines the two to defeat him. Amidst the chaos, Lyn grabs the chance to snatch the Staff of Havoc. But Skeletor, now empowered with a fresh surge of strength, doesn't even need the staff to wield magic. He's become a force to be reckoned with all on his own. Meanwhile, Adam delves into his late father's secret stash and comes out donning a high-tech armored suit, ready to take on Hordak's tech-savvy minions. Finally, He-Man and the Sorceress drop the tension and get on the same page. After Lyn hands over the staff to Teela, she attempts to merge the three ancient magics to revive Preternia, but the immense power is too much for her. As Teela struggles, Keldor steps in just in time with the upgraded Sword of Power for Adam. Without a second thought, Adam jumps into the vortex Teela created, sword in hand, calling on Grayskull's power to give Teela the boost she needs. This epic moment transforms him into an even more powerful He-Man, and Teela is elevated to the Supreme Sorceress. This transformation reshapes both of them, pushing Adam and Teela to address the unspoken between them and seal their bond with a kiss, giving us longtime fans a moment we've been waiting for. After this touching scene, Adam motivates Teela to focus on bringing back Preternia. She soars into the sky, wielding her new powers to restore the once-lost realm. Adam quickly gets Lyn and Orko to cover her, while rallying the rest to join him in the fight. On the flip side, Skeletor is busy transforming Eternia's brainwashed citizens into his own skeletal crew, mixing his magic with tech. But Adam steps in just in time, breaking the spell and freeing the people from Skeletor's grip. The final showdown is intense, a true clash of titans as the hero and villain go head-to-head, each harnessing a unique blend of magic and tech. Skeletor, with his magical nanotech, faces off against Adam, who's wielding his newly enhanced sword. In the midst of this epic battle, Orko and Lyn protect Teela from Skeletor's relentless army as she completes the critical ritual to resurrect Preternia. But then, Skeletor, tapping into his immense power, calls forth the ancient Techno-Titans, escalating the battle even further. In a dramatic turn, Granamir, the ancient dragon, joins the fray, tipping the scales in favor of the heroes, but tragically falls in the battle. As Adam stands on the edge of defeat, Teela's magic worked wonders, successfully bringing back Preternia. This not only gave a sort of eternal peace to those who had passed, but also lifted a huge weight off evil Lyn's shoulders for the part she played in its downfall. As Teela's spell hit its peak, King Randor's spirit, along with the spirits of Eternia's fallen heroes, jumped into the battle, tipping the scales. Skeletor, in a last-ditch effort, tried to take out Adam, but the ghost of Randor, fighting alongside He-Man, was key in turning the tables on Skeletor's attack. And with Preternia's return, the souls caught in limbo between Eternia and Preternia were finally set free. Though Skeletor was beaten, he tried to drag Randor's spirit down with him. But Adam, powered up like never before, used his sword to transform Skeletor back into Keldor, stripping him of his dark powers and tech enhancements and restoring peace to Eternia. On a side note, the moment Keldor faced his loss, surrounded by the heroes, it kinda reminded me of Loki facing the Avengers, feeling defeated. There's a bit of a parallel there with Keldor and Loki, both adopted, power-hungry, and taking the villain path when they felt shortchanged. Keldor's blue skin even gives off a Loki vibe, considering Loki's frost giant roots. In the end, Keldor ends up in Eternian jail, as the remaining Horde members head off into space, now that Skeletor's not in charge. Adam takes this chance to transform Eternia into a democracy. Stepping up, he tells Eternia's people it's time to ditch the monarchy and start a new democratic era. He blames the whole Hordak and Skeletor mess on his mistake of choosing the wrong king and insists that it's time for the people to pick their leader, believing in the power of the people to shape their future. Meanwhile, Keldor, now a prisoner under Castle Grayskull, is plotting his comeback. But the show could have explored his backstory more, showing how he was wronged, which could have made Adam rethink his views on Randor. But well, there wasn't enough time for that deep dive this season. The show wraps up on a lighter note, with Andra stepping into politics and running for office. As for Adam and Teela, they decide to focus on their relationship and keeping Eternia peaceful. Got any ideas, questions, or thoughts? Drop them in the comments. I'd totally love to chat about the video's topic. Hey, if you liked the video, hit that like button, share it, and subscribe for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.